Have you noticed how silence becomes powerful the moment it stops being accidental? Not because you planned it or wanted a reaction, but because explaining yourself no longer felt honest. She didn't expect that silence to reach this deep. She thought distance would cool things down instead. It changed how she feels. In today's video, we'll explore why your quiet detachment went further than any argument ever could. How silence rooted in self-respect and stoic calm didn't manipulate her. It reflected her, and in that reflection, she saw what she'd been missing. If you've ever wondered why stepping back changes everything, stay with me. And if this resonates, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join a community of men choosing clarity over chaos. Number 1, your silence wasn't a game. You didn't disappear to play hard to get. You weren't trying to create mystery or manipulate her emotions. Your silence wasn't a strategy. It was a shift born not out of pride, but out of necessity. You stopped reaching, not because you didn't care anymore, but because every attempt to connect began to feel like you were abandoning yourself. And that's not love, that's self-neglect. So, you chose silence, not to punish her, but to protect your peace. This is a line many men eventually face, the moment where silence becomes the most honest response. Not dramatic, not cruel, just still. It's when you realize that continuing to explain yourself, to overextend, to prove your worth only leads to exhaustion. You didn't stop talking to create distance. You stopped talking because the noise wasn't leading anywhere. Conversations became circular, apologies were recycled, promises felt performative, and each time you reached out, you felt more unheard. So you stopped. From a Stoic lens, this is the exact turning point Marcus Aurelius described when he said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Your silence wasn't about silence itself. It was about no longer saying things that weren't being received. You didn't withdraw love. You withdrew unnecessary effort. You stopped participating in your own depletion. And that's when the energy shifted. What makes this silence powerful is its intention. You weren't playing a game because a game requires both players to seek an outcome. You weren't seeking anything anymore, not control, not validation, not even closure. You let go of needing to be understood and began to understand yourself. That's when something rare happened. Your absence started speaking louder than your presence ever did. And whether she admits it or not, she felt it. Maybe not immediately, and maybe not clearly, but something felt off to her. The rhythm was broken. The emotional certainty she once had about you was replaced with silence she couldn't interpret. And that's what changed everything, because silence that comes from peace has gravity. So let's be clear. Your silence wasn't cold, it was calm. It wasn't a wall, it was a boundary. It didn't come from anger. It came from awareness. And once a man starts protecting his energy like that, everything around him begins to realign. Now ask yourself this: was it really silence, or was it the first time you finally started listening to yourself? Number 2, things got clear when you went quiet. It's strange how silence, something so still, so empty, can speak volumes. But the moment you stopped talking, stopped reaching, stopped softening the edges of her emotional experience, everything changed. The emotional noise that used to fill the space between you, the comforting words, the quick replies, the way you always made things feel less tense, suddenly vanished. And what replaced it wasn't anger, it was clarity. That's the part she never expected. She thought your absence would feel like a pause, a break, something reversible. But silence doesn't create distance. It creates contrast. Without your presence constantly balancing the emotional scale, she started to feel the full weight of the dynamic.